Hello, welcome. If you are new here, my name is Carline Cadet Francois. I help busy professionals convert buildings into licensed assisted living communities. I also host large assisted living senior care conferences. I sit on boards for syndications. We had a group of people submit questions, and I am going to answer those questions and give you some feedback on how you can handle these questions. One way you can support this channel is by liking and subscribing. We are trying to get to our first 5,000 subscribers, and we would appreciate and use your help to help us achieve this goal. So if you know of somebody who will find these videos to be valuable, please consider to also share it with them. So remember, like, comment, and share with a friend that will find it valuable. So also remember, these questions are not in order. So I am going to answer them as they are in the document. And if you happen to have any questions that you want me to answer, please comment them or feel free to visit our website, Florida Assisted Living Consulting.com, and submit your questions, or you can find us on social media. Submit them either way. My staff will have them in this documentation so that I can answer your questions. Another way you can also get to come and ask me questions live is to join the Thriving Circle community. We usually have promotions going on for that, where you can come and ask me your questions live. I am the one who conducts the meeting. I don't delegate that. Okay. The other one is to schedule a consultation with me, where you will be able to find direct strategies from me. And those are the ways that you can get more information directly from me. Okay, so we're going to go into the questions, and I'm excited to see what the questions are and what value you will get from them. Okay, this question say, I am planning to have an ALF for 6 patients. How many caregivers do I need? Okay, so Florida state statute says if you have 5 residents, you need to have 1 staff. If you have anywhere 6 or more, you need to have 2 staff, and then it goes into the number of hours. Okay, so let's say if you're licensed for 6 residents, you can have 1 caregiver on shift, and you yourself can be considered as one of the staff members if you are the administrator and you are involved in the business. Okay, usually around lunchtime hours is when you will need the most help, because there's a lot going on. You have residents, you need to help them with feeding. Different residents, based on what their needs are, will require more assistance than others. So you need to have the most staff in the morning hours when your residents are getting up. They need help with activities of daily living. Also around lunchtime, they need help with feeding, the medications, and all of those things. The bulk of your work will be, let's say for day to day, for example, will be in the morning. In the morning, there's usually a lot going on. You're getting your clients up to help them take bath, to help them dress up. And sometimes they may be in different type of moods. So for example, they don't want to be bothered. So you have to negotiate with them. You have to plead with them. And that takes a lot of patience. So around the morning hours, you need the most help, because once you finish dressing them up, helping them to take a bath, you will transition into breakfast, right? So they'll go into the breakfast, and depending on your client's medication orders, they will have their medication before breakfast or after breakfast. So you got 3 things going on. So you have to help them get ready to start their day, right? And then you're also going to help them get their medications, right? You're also going to make sure they have breakfast. So you have a lot going on. Even if you have, let's say, 5 residents and you're not required to have that additional staff, it is in your best interest to have at least a second person there to help with all this traffic that is going on. And also in the morning hours, you also have visitations. You have doctors that may be coming in, providers that are coming in to provide services to your seniors. And so you want to be able to have enough staff in people to help you to be able to accept that traffic and not be overwhelmed. Okay. Think about it. Your state of mind determines everything. So if you have to attend to everything at once, it is only a matter of time before you become overwhelmed. So think about those things as well. The more people you have, the better. Okay. And also think about as well the type of needs your client needs. So if you have clients that are more independent per se, they can take themselves bath with supervision, they can feed themselves, they can take their own medications without too much supervision, then you may have more flexibility to have less staff. However, if majority of your residents are where they need more help, you will need to have more staff available. Also, when the agency comes to do your inspections, if you have a lot of clients that need a lot of help, they can also require you to have more staff on shift. Another thing that will require you to have more staff on shift is if you're not able to do your fire safety evacuation procedures within the proper time frame, right? So all of those things play a factor. Sometimes the regulations may say, oh, you have 5 residents, you only required to have 1 staff. There are other factors that will play into that. You may have 3 residents, but if your 3 residents need a lot of help, you're not able to meet fire safety evacuation procedures on time, you are going to be required to have more staff on shift. Okay. So it's not like a black and white situation. It also play a factor into the status of your residents. So if you're watching this and you're getting into the business, you may want to consider these things when you are licensed and you're admitting new clients into your facility, right? Because all of those things will play a factor, because the more active residents you have, you can go exactly by what the statute says of how many staff you can have. The less active, you will be required to have more staffing to be able to meet the needs of the residents. Comment if that makes sense, okay? Because I know this so well, sometimes I can think that I explain things in a way that you'll understand, but I need your feedback so that I will know, okay, I got that. Okay. We'll go into the next question. How many hours do the caregivers have to work based on the actual regulations for 6 patients? I think we covered that a bit. For example, you are required to have staff on shift 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Okay. So whether you have 6 patients, 3 patients, 1 patient, you are required to cover the shifts. You can never leave your clients alone at any time for any reason. Okay. So we covered the staff to resident ratios, and I think we answered that pretty much. So if you're wondering if you want to do 12-hour shifts versus 8-hour shifts, and things like that, which is another thing you may want to consider. In the beginning, when I used to manage, I used to do 8-hour shifts. And no time I had so many people to manage, right? So then I had to change the shift hours to 12-hour shifts. And now I didn't have as many people to manage. So those are some things you may want to consider. Most people do the 12-hour shifts. Some people do the 8-hour shifts. It depends on what you see yourself doing in your management style. And also remember, if you start with 1 shift and you see that it's not working for you, you can always change that. The worst that can happen is someone decides, they can't work that shift and they can't work for you anymore. So consider those things, because you can always change your operation procedures. So it's not like if you start with 8 hours, you can never change to 12 hours. Is it a big change? Is it stressful in the beginning? Yes. So consider if you want to manage a whole bunch of people, because I will tell you, coming from, management, if you have any other questions that you want me to cover, please email them to us. You can comment on the video, or you can find us on social media, whichever one works best for you. My staff will compile them. Once I have enough questions, I will come on here live and make those videos for you. My goal is to help you. When I got into the business, I learned that this business is very tight-lipped, and I struggled. I struggled to find a community, to find like-minded people. And this is why I serve the way that I serve today. I have the community, right? You can come ask me questions, make some friends. I host large ALF conferences. We just had one. We had a good 280 people there, and we're planning the next one. Okay. Expect to have those conferences at least once per year. So you can visit my website to find when is the next one. We usually sell out. Okay. That's how people need the information. This is why I hate to waste people time. And so when I tell you you're going to gain value out of something, you will gain value out of it. And when I plan something, people show up because they know I will bring them the best guest speakers, right? My guest speakers, they are people of integrity and value, and they won't say, oh, you didn't pay me for that and I can't tell you. You know, you ask, do you have any question? Whatever the person have the question is, you need to answer that, right? Those are the type of mindset that we deal with. And then we also have the coaching programs. We have the online courses. We have the audio books. We have what you need to help you succeed. And then we bring you the resources, people that will help you get things done that I may not be able to help you with, right? So it's just a matter of figuring out what is best for you and how I can serve you. And if I can serve you, it is my calling and I'd love to do it. Okay. If you know anybody who will gain value from this video, please consider to share it with them. Like, comment, and subscribe. Forward to seeing you inside of the next video. Talk soon.